guys! Today I'm going to show you how to create this beautiful double fishtail braid. There are many different techniques to achieve a similar look, and today I'm going to share with you one of my favorites. Of course, my medium blonde hair won't allow me to create any kind of a big braid, so as usual I'll start from attaching my glam time clip-in extensions. To add beautiful depth to my color, I'm using two sets in dark and platinum blonde. For this hairstyle, it's very important to brush out your hair very well, because we'll be sectioning tiny strands of hair, and you want to be sure that your hair is totally tangle-free. I'll start from pinning the top shortest strands of hair away from my face, and then I'll use a thin section of hair to create a regular braid. I'll use this hair later on to create my top fishtail braid, but for the time being I'll grab the remaining hair and divide it into two equal parts. We're going to create a reverse fishtail braid. So you want to pick a thin strand of hair from the left section and bring it under the section to the right section. Then you want to pick a thin strand of hair from your right section and bring it under the section to the left section. So if you're familiar with the technique to create a regular fishtail braid, you can tell that this technique is almost identical, just that you pass your outer strands under your section and not over them. The thinner sections you take, the longer it will take you to create your braid. So if you're running out of time, go ahead and just pick thicker sections. In case of this reversed fishtail braid, the pattern won't be showing through quite straight away. So you have to be patient and keep on braiding for around 5 inches before you can actually believe me that this braid is a reverse fishtail braid and not just mess that doesn't look like anything. When you can finally see the pattern and your braid is lower than your shoulder, it's time to release a strand of hair from your braid. What I personally like to do is just to wrap the strand around the small braid. Then you want to keep on braiding just as before. You want to keep on braiding like this, releasing some strands of hair out of your braid every once in a while. Here I'm going to release another strand of hair and go on braiding. As I braid, I also like to loosen up my braid at the sides. There's really nothing more trendy in hair fashion these days than bohemian effortless braids. So if you're worried that normally you're unable to achieve that clean fishtail braid look, that's even better. So keep on fishtail braiding and stretching the sides of your braid every once in a while. Once you get to your ends, tie the braid with a small elastic. Now that the first big fishtail braid is complete, it's time to create the second one and to attach it to the first one. So release the hair in the first braid, divide it in two equal parts, and create a reversed fishtail braid using the same technique as before. So you pick a thin strand of hair and you bring it under to the other side. You want to keep on braiding like this until you get to the level of the first strand that you released from the big braid. We're going to incorporate it into the small braid. So just split it in two parts and add it to the strands of the braid. And then again, you keep on braiding exactly as before. You repeat the steps till you reach the second strand and you incorporate it into your small braid in the exactly same manner. What I really love about this technique is how versatile it is, because in fact you can combine multiple types of braids into stacked braids. The main big braid can be either fishtail braid or regular 3-strand braid, from which you release thin strands of hair as you braid, while on top you can create either a regular 3-strand braid or a fishtail braid or a twisted rope braid. It's pretty much anything you please. So I really recommend you to experiment with this technique because it can create you many different looks. Once I tie both braids together with an elastic band, this hairstyle is complete. You can wear it just like this, But I think I'm going to also release the top shorter strands of my hair. Which version do you actually prefer? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I see you in my next tutorial. My new videos come out on Thursdays and Sundays. Bye!